First learned about this 7 years ago. On a mission in Brazil to capture a wanted.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the LuckyDog podcast. This is your host, Elias Roush. This podcast is sponsored by EliasRoushMedia.com, photo, video, digital media production. Today we are discussing Mortal Kombat. I'm running around the studio if you can't tell, but Mortal Kombat 2021, directed by Simon McQuoid, produced by James Wan, Todd Gardner, Simon McQuoid, Bennett Walsh, screenplay by Greg Russo, Dave Callahan, story by Oren Utzel, Greg Russo. Not too familiar with anything that Greg Russo has done right off the top. This is Simon McQuoid's directorial debut, and I believe Dave Callahan is known for works of Wonder Woman 1984, Shang-Chi, Jean-Claude Van Damme documentary, and was that a documentary? Or it was some sort of show, TV series with him. And the writer from Godzilla 2014 as well. Oren Utzel, this guy's writer on the Cloverfield Paradox, 22 Jump Street, and Shimmer Lake. I'm not too familiar with anything else he's been on. But yeah, so Mortal Kombat is a 2021 American martial arts fantasy film directed by Simon McQuoid, his debut. It is based on the video game franchise of the same name created by Ed Boon and John Tobias. This is serving as a reboot to the Mortal Kombat film series. The film stars Louis Tan, Jessica McName, Josh Lawson, Tadanobu Asano, Makad Brooks, Louis Lin, Chin Han, Joe Towsum, and Hiroki Sanada. Now, there are some foreign names on this list, and so I apologize if I get any of the foreign lists, the names wrong on there. So, forgive me for that. Let me see what else we're talking about. Following the commercial and critical failure of the 1997 Mortal Kombat film Annihilation, a third Mortal Kombat film languished in development hell for a period of nearly 2 decades. In late 2010, Warner Brothers, the parent company, acquired the franchise from Midway Games in 2009, thus beginning a new film with Kevin Tancherian serving as a director from a written script written by Utzel in the wake of Mortal Kombat Rebirth, a short film. James Wan was announced as a producer in August 2015. McQuoid was hired as director in 2016, at the end of 2016 in November. And so basically this was one of the big blockbuster films that was supposed to go straight to the theaters, but this is going to be split between the HBO Max release within the next 30 days. It's available on there, as well as the fact that it is in theaters as well. So you have your options to go see this in theaters depending on if your state allows it, given the state of the pandemic. So Mortal Kombat, basically, I know the bare bones of Mortal Kombat. I know, the catchphrases to an extent, get over here and stuff like that, finish him, fatality, all that good stuff. So I think about that quite often when I'm thinking about Mortal Kombat, the brand. So how can we make it interesting as a movie? Well, notoriously, video game adapted movies do not have a great track record. The ones I can remember the most recently would be Sonic the Hedgehog. You got Tomb Raider. You've got the one that's been in Nathan Drake has been in development hell for I don't know how long. They might have Tom Holland play it. They might not. They've been trying to get somebody to play it. Even Wahlberg was supposed to play it for a while. So anyways, the adapted video game adapted movies and television shows do not have a great track record. I'd say The Witcher was probably one of the better, more adapted television shows or pieces of property that have made the leap from video games to or comic books to the screen, whether it's streaming or the big screen. But anyways, I've seen bits and pieces of the regular Mortal Kombat or the normal. What was it? The 1997 Mortal Kombat? I think it was. But yeah, so what's the big thing that's going to make this one tick? Does this one serve up to breaking the rules of video game movies, video game adapted movies can't be good? Can it break that mold? Well, let's discuss it. I did do a live tweeting session while I was watching the movie. I admittedly had to do it over a couple different parts. I didn't watch it all in one take, so I watched it in about 3 different sittings over the course of today. I watched the first hour, and then I, hit the gym, kind of did my thing, came back, watched another 20, and then did a little work, and then watched the rest. So it's about an hour and 50 minutes total. And if you can't tell based on the way that I'm discussing, kind of dancing around it, I did hear that they were holding back the fact of what's it called, the embargo date of the release of the films to what did they said that you can't have the United States could not release the reviews for the movie until Thursday, although they let everyone, the majority of professional critics, see it Wednesday. Normally when they do that and they're holding back the reviews, it means that the studio knows it's not probably the best. It's not going to be given the best critical reception, in my opinion. And I can kind of see why. So without going to too much spoilers, there will be a spoiler-free section, which is what we're in right now, and there's going to be a spoiler section where we're going to discuss the film by the plot. And so I will leave a little bit of the spoiler section in here. Normally it is going to be for the Patreon paying members only. That's how we keep the lights on around here at the LuckyDog podcast. But yeah, so let me tell you what I thought about this movie in a quick summation of a couple of my tweets. Again, this is at LuckyDog Podcast. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, and you'll get some of these live tweets. Goodness, we did it for King Kong versus Godzilla as well. So let me find the string of okay, so Mortal Kombat was like going to a restaurant, and the best parts of the meal were the appetizers and the desserts. Why didn't you just let Hiroki take the lead? And for anyone that doesn't know who Hiroki is, it's Lin K. And I'm sorry if I'm getting the Mortal Kombat names wrong. I don't remember them well enough to get everyone's name right. So, bear with me when I'm giving some of these trying to say some of these names. So, anyways, with an estimated budget, it says of approximately $95 million. This is starring an amalgamation of different characters, and their acting ability, I'd say, is across the board on different levels, to be nice. And the majority of the time, I liked the people that were cast. I didn't like what they were doing, and I didn't feel like they were natural for the most part. A lot of it felt like the dialogue came from the voice or the mind of one person. And something that I look into when I'm studying movies, when I enjoy a character or I enjoy a story or I enjoy a world that a creator has made, I need to feel like these characters are all from different, are all having different thoughts. That they're not all coming from the same streamline of thought. And it's kind of hard to describe without comparing it to other things. I'd say having characters that are seriously fleshed out in a way that make you feel like this is a real person, this is a real person that has lived in this world and understands what's going on, and has drives and motivations. And I don't need full backstories for all these characters because we clearly don't have enough time to do that. But with watching this movie, this was one of the problems, is that it felt like everybody had read off the same script, and that everybody had the same demeanor, and the same motivations in every single bits of the scene. And so, with saying that, Louis Tan as Cole Young, Jessica McNamee as Sonya Blade, Josh Lawson as Kano, Joe Tassalem as Baihan, Makad Brooks as Jax. I enjoyed the general casting of these characters, and I've seen the majority of these characters, or I've seen the majority of these actors in other pieces of media. I did not see the Meg with Jessica McNamee, but I kind of felt like she would be in that type of movie where it's, like kind of badass heroine kind of style. And there wasn't a second I really thought that any of the characters or the actors couldn't carry the physicality of the movie. This movie requires all of the actors essentially to be very agile, very much light on their feet and ready and able to be limber and to fight. And I feel like the flexibility of these characters really is shown when they're fighting, but when they're talking about flexibility of these characters as actors, it really feels flat and one note. And I don't want to say that it's just these. It's not like a fault. I don't want to say it's a fault. It's just that this script did not serve these actors at all in any way except for fan service for a way. So when I say fan service, people might get a little bit up in arms. People that really like the movie might be like, "This isn't fan service. This is the movie." Well, I'm gonna do like a small spoiler of the movie Solo, with the Han Solo movie. Just kind of skip ahead 30 seconds if you don't want to hear anything. But it's the origin of Solo, and his name is revealed in that movie. So it feels like this movie was that concept of revealing why, this little summation or, quote unquote clue of who they are. Oh, his name's Solo? Oh, it's because he's alone? Oh, okay. It feels like that mentality is happening in this movie for the most part. It's like, oh, that's where he got the dagger. Oh, that's where he got the thing. It feels like half this movie is, I don't want to say fan service, because you have to have an extent of showing the original world, showing the original concept. There's iconography to every brand that needs to be shown, and I totally understand that. But this was like to the extent of they would stop, almost break the fourth wall, looking at the camera and say like their catchphrase, or I am not, what's his name? I am not Baihan. I am Sub-Zero. Something. They would look at the camera and kind of do something of that nature. So with saying that, I got to say the biggest flaw in this was probably the script. You know what they needed? They needed somebody to come in here and tell them, you're making a Mortal Kombat video game movie and you don't need to be so goddamn serious. The actor Josh Lawson, I haven't seen him in too much, but he seemed to be the one guy that had a lot of fun. He was in Anchorman 2, long story short, and I don't really see anything. Bombshell, I see that. Okay. So he's been in a number of projects and stuff like that. He's not new to the acting scene. What is this? The Little Death. I have not seen that. So anyways, yeah, Josh Lawson seemed to be the actor that seemed to know that this was kind of a ridiculous plot, and it needed to. This movie was trying to teeter on being kind of like self-referential, kind of funny a little bit about it, like the Phil Lord and Chris Miller or something like that. That kind of irreverent style of humor. I know there wasn't a writer from 22 Jump Street on here, but it felt like in many parts of this that we're just being told things. Things are just happening. People are just saying things. The natural conclusion of a story unfolding is not happening on the screen right now. If you're coming to this movie, you better know and you better be ready just for some really dumb writing. You like bare bones. Don't think about it. Don't don't think about it too hard, because you're gonna be like, what the fuck. But overall, there's some pretty decent action. The action is enough that if you're like even a little bit interested, I think I would recommend it strictly for the action. If you throw it on in the background, I'd recommend just doing it that way. Unfortunately, it's not sufficing in the middle of the movie to say it needs all of your attention. It really does not. So yeah, let me talk about the plot real quick, and we'll be on our way to hop onto the spoiler section. Benjamin Wallifschek, I guess, is the composer's name for the music. I did kind of like the 80s synthy style. They do have a little bit of... I'm not going to say yes or no if they have any of the original stuff in there, but I will say I liked what they were doing. This guy, I'm not familiar with anything this guy's done. Yeah, Hidden Figures, A Cure for Wellness. Okay, I am Annabelle. It. Yeah, actually he did Blade Runner 2049, The Vanishing. I think I remember Hellboy 2019, Shazam Chapter 2. He has some stuff under his belt. I'll be honest. I like this guy. Yeah, and he's the primary composer for all of those. Let me see. He's going to be the composer on The Flash as well. That might be interesting. It does have that 80s synthy style. Let me see what else. Okay, so here's the plot of the. Sorry, here's the synopsis of the movie real quick. This is without spoilers. MMA fighter Cole Young seeks out Earth's greatest champions in order to stand out against the enemies of Outworld in high-stakes battle for the universe. So, before we go into the spoiler section where we're discussing all of the juicy goodness of the plot, I just wanted to let everyone know. Thank you for watching, listening, Lucky Dog Podcast. Be sure to support on patreon.com/LuckyDog Podcast. Anything you donate there is going to help feed the podcast and help us grow and expand. Let me know how I can improve. Let me know about the review. Let me know how I can improve the review and what you thought about Mortal Kombat itself. Did you like it? Did you think it needed to be slightly improved here and there, like I might have? So, yeah, let's discuss the plot of what is this? Mortal Kombat. I actually changed my mind last minute. I want to look at a couple of the tweets that people are talking about on Mortal Kombat right here. Okay, so showing some, or kind of expressing some of the tweets will maybe help me understand if majority of people are liking it, maybe not so much. As of right now, my rating for this movie is a 6 out of 10. The 6 is strictly because of the fighting. It's just literally anything else is really not in my best interest at all. Like when it comes to the reason that the trailer might look cool is the cinematography. I think you can have good editing and cinematography on there. Jermaine McKing did the cinematography, and that's strictly what's going on with the marketing and whatnot. I did want to check on some of the tweets. So let's see. Maybe to counterbalance some of my negativity about the movie, at M_Windrunner99. Hashtag Mortal Kombat movie, epic. Uh, let's see. Underscore K Josh underscore just finished watching the Mortal Kombat movie. I'm really impressed. I really like the Cabal actor. His scenes were well done, especially with the trash talk with Kano. Props to all the actors and the production behind it. I actually was not crazy about the costumes. I liked set dressing. I thought is not going to age well at all. There's a couple of scenes where they're in this like I don't know. It's not hell. It's just some random non-Earth location, and I actually did not think that's going to age well at all. I thought the green screen was a little bit sketchy, and again, it could have just been what I was watching on. I was watching majority of the time on iPad. So yeah, what is this? Captain VG313. So the all right, I'll skip that. Okay, somebody else said D_mag_music. Hashtag Mortal Kombat movie was terrible. Laughing faces. Let me see. I'm gonna look at the top tweets real quick. Oh God. Someone said I want Lewis. Sorry, at I'm _not_Jade. I want Louis Tan and Ludi Lin to fill me up like a double stuffed Oreo. Oh my God. And Louis Tan said, "Is this a new fatality?" Oh, I actually am. I like that he's responding to some of the stuff. Louis Tan is actually, I don't know if it's Tan or Tan. He was in The Immortal Iron Fist, and he was my favorite. He was in it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and he was my favorite part of that first season. It plays like a drunken hobo guy, and he's a fucking G in it, and which makes me that much more like damn, y'all couldn't have given this guy a little bit more to do. Like it feels like they took like the third take of all of his takes, and it's just like he does not feel like he is trying to fight for the the rest, the saving of the world or for the saving of his family or whatever. I don't know. Let me see. Greg Russo, by fans for fans. That's the writer. I don't know. And I do got to say there's going to be some GIF-worthy moments that are absolutely worth maybe watching the movie just for that. I'm watching one of the scenes with, we're going to start discussing spoilers here. One of the scenes with Jax and Sub-Zero as he's shooting this GIF, and you can see all the bullets dispersing in several different locations coming towards Sub-Zero, but he's freezing the bullets as they're coming toward him, coming out of the gun. It's one of the coolest. They have some of the coolest like GIFs or like 2 or 3 second clippets, or I don't know exactly how to explain it, because the majority of the fighting in the middle of the movie was not nearly as exciting as I'd say the beginning or end when it came down to the type of martial arts. I don't know, just something about punching and stuff was just not nearly as interesting as when they were using their martial arts and using their powers in between. I did like Mekhi Brooks and Sub-Zero fight. That was that was in the middle, and I think that was one of the cool parts. I'm seeing a lot of positive stuff on the top tweets. But yeah, let me see. Okay, so let's see. And again, I'm not gonna get all these names right, so just bear with me when I'm gonna get fatalityed by everybody saying you suck ass at responding to these to pronouncing these names and whatnot. So, in 17th century Japan, Linkei assassins led by Han, aka Sub-Zero, I believe, attack and kill members of the rival Shira-Ryu ninja clan and Hanziro Hashi's wife and son. Hashi's himself kills the attackers before falling to by Han and taken to the Netherrealm. Raiden arrives and takes Hashi's surviving infant daughter to safety. So I enjoy this first scene. I think it's an awesome opener. You kind of get an idea for what's going on. But this baby felt like kind of insignificant for the big chunk of the movie, which kind of felt like it should have happened a little bit earlier. There's so much of this setup of this movie that feels like it's like a double opening. And with having so many of these characters become so, I don't know what you call it. You have to flesh all these characters out. So you have to explain their backstory. So similar to any of the movies people might have seen with having like a ragtag group of people. Well, these aren't the ragtag group of people coming together. This is like the elite. They're supposed to be the elite of the elite. But I'd say we're finding the elite of the elite at the very early stages of who they are and their in the perspective of their journey or their adventure. So I feel like we probably should have just followed either Raiden or we should have followed Hasashi or one of these characters from the very beginning, because it opens so big that I'm immediately endeared to Hasashi's character, Hanzo. I'm endeared to his character because we lose his family, but then we're transferred to a brand new family that has almost nothing to do with it. What feels like it has nothing to do with it for a large chunk of the time. So, in the present, the realm of Outworld has defeated Earthrealm, and 9 of 10 deathmatch tournaments called Mortal Kombat.